gastrointestinal tract. On page 2. I'm starting on page 2. Just a little bit of a general. First of all, identify this structure right here. Identify this organ. You can either say the mouth or the oral cavity. Either one would be correct. The food goes down here, and then it goes to this organ right here. The only way that we can see it, and I'll turn this model in just a second, is this beige organ right here. What is this beige organ? Esophagus. Notice what's next to the esophagus. What is that red thing going down there? Descending aorta or thoracic aorta. And then next to it, or medial to it, is the esophagus. Same thing in your cat. Remember, if we pull all the lungs back, you can find there the dorsal, the descending aorta, and then medial to that, the esophagus. Notice that it's also behind the heart. And notice also, is it in the mediastinum? It's in the mediastinum, and it's in that space in between the two lungs. So that's the esophagus. Identify this organ right here. Identify these organs. Identify this, everything in dark brown, large intestine. And then if we take, those are the major organs. Now if we look at the mouth, we can have a little bit more detail to that. Identify this part of the mouth. Identify this space right here. Okay, and then we have what is called the vestibule. And the vestibule is just that space between the cheeks and the lips or the gums. So, you know, if you pull this out right here, I guess where they put tobacco, you know, chew tobacco, that space right there, that's the vestibule. And then you have the fauces, which is just this space back here between the opening of the mouth and the oropharynx. It's just that opening right there, called the fauces. Then identify this structure right here, that's on the top, the hard palate, and then towards the back is the soft palate. And then you have your uvula hanging down from that soft palate. And then you have this structure right here, the tongue, and then you have this structure that attaches the tongue to the inside. I don't see it on here, so right in here, that would be the lingual frenulum. And then you have this one right here on the inside of your lips, which is called the labial frenulum. That word labial means lips, labios, right? We say labios in Spanish. And lengua, for tongue in Spanish, Latin. Okay, and then we have the salivary glands. This one that's right here on this side. Identify this organ. Parotid, right next to the ear. Para meaning to the side. OT meaning ear. Parotid gland right there. And then if we take this head off right here. Can you see right here, identify this bone? Mandible, identify this organ? Submandibular. And then if I turn it this way, identify this organ. Tongue. Identify this organ. Sublingual salivary gland. And then the pharynx we covered last time. I think we were pretty good on the pharynx. The esophagus. The lower esophageal sphincter, the best place to see that. The best place to find that would be right here. This would be the lower esophageal sphincter. Remember I told you the smooth muscle right here of the esophagus, but also the surrounding diaphragm muscle is the lower esophageal sphincter. And then for the stomach, identify this part of the stomach. Lesser curvature. Identify this one right here. Greater curvature. What's attached to the greater curvature? The greater omentum. What's attached to the lesser curvature? The lesser omentum. Okay? Lesser curvature, there's a membrane that goes to the liver, lesser omentum. Greater curvature, you have the greater omentum. Identify this region of the stomach.
Cardiac.
This is the cardiac. Identify this region up here. Fundus, this region. Body, and this region right here, like from here to here. Pyloric part, the pyloric part. Identify these structures on the inside. Rugae. And then if we look at this, let's see if it has our layers. It doesn't. There's another one there that has it. Rugae, body, pylorus. Okay, let's look at the muscle layers. For the muscle layers, if we look at this model, excuse me, it has this right here. Remember, the outermost layer is which one? Going this way. longitudinal, and then the middle one is the circular, and then the innermost one is the oblique. So let me see if I can see those a little bit better on this right here. I know there's a way
You know
to
those for lectures, since you didn't really specify the lectures?
No, I don't think I put them in lectures. Usually when I mention them anyway, it's just to quickly get you on here. So I'm sorry, let's do this again. On the outside right here, you can see this longitudinal part, that's the longitudinal muscle. If you look closely in this region, can you see the circular ones? A little bit deeper to that. These coming around are the circular. Okay, and then if we peel off that circular, this layer right here, that would be the oblique. Okay, can you pass that back that way so they can see those three layers? Okay, so those are the three layers, and I think that's it for the stomach. For the small intestine, on this model right here, what I think they're trying to show, the dark beige is the jejunum. And if I take off this part of the intestine, notice right here, here's my stomach. Remember how I said it was a continuous tube? Here's the stomach. And what does the stomach turn into right here? It's this C-shaped structure. Duodenum. And then the duodenum continues as this dark beige right here, and that would be the jejunum. The light beige would be the ileum. And the only reason I say that is, can you see right here where the ileum ends? See how it's light beige in color? So that's why I say I think they're trying to show jejunum in dark, the ileum in the light color. And then the ileum comes right here, and it forms the first part of the large intestine called the cecum. And right there, if I take that off, can you see this little valve in between the two, between the ileum and the cecum? That's called the ileocecal valve. Ileocecal valve. And then from there, we're going to have a couple of more structures that we're going to need to identify, or parts of the large intestine. So again, what is this right here? Duodenum or duodenum, jejunum, and over here, ileum, and right here, ileum, and right here, cecum, and in between the two, ileocecal valve. So now if we take a look at that large intestine,
Small intestine, do we do circular folds and villi?
we can't see them, we can see them here. In here we can see circular folds, and then, let's see, we can't see, oh, and we can see villi right here on this model. These will be villi. We'll get to them again. Okay. And then we can also see circular folds in that model. Can you pass me that model, please, Jennifer? Yes. Here's our circular folds right here. You see the folds? On the inside of the stomach, they're called rugae. In the inside of the duodenum or small intestine, they're called circular folds. Okay? And then, let's see. Then from there, we were getting to the large intestine. So this is the, what region again?
Cecum.
Cecum, and then ascending colon, and then across, transverse, and then down, descending. And then this S shape right here. That's the sigmoid colon. Does the cat have a sigmoid colon? No sigmoid colon. It has cecum, ascending, transverse, descending, but no sigmoid colon. And then if I take this out right here, I can see the last little part. I'll take it out right here, which is, you can only see from the back here, this last little part, this is the rectum. And then the hole right here, that would be the anus. Okay. And if I open this up, I can see right there the anus just a little bit better. Can you see that right there? That would be the anus. Okay, and then let's see, on the large intestine, there's a couple more terms that we're going to need to know. So let me get to those. And first is a little organ, a lymphatic organ that hangs off of the cecum. It's this finger-shaped structure right here. That's the appendix. So when a person has appendicitis or has their appendectomy, they have appendix removed. This is what they're having removed. What is the appendix made up of? It's mold, basically. Masses of lymphocytes, with or without a capsule. No capsule. No capsule. So that's why it can get quite large. If there's an infection there and they're trying to desperately fight that infection, it becomes large, and that's where appendicitis comes from.